Hello, friends. It's Mrs. Evans. Today we're going to be talking about using illustrations in a text. We want to be able to use illustrations and key details to describe characters, settings, and events in a story. Today we're going to use the illustrations and text to help tell this story from Dr. Seuss. Boys and girls, sometimes the pictures tell us just as much as the words in a story. We're going to be looking at some pictures from the book The Sneetches by Dr. Seuss. We want to remember that illustrations give us more detail than just the words provide in a story. The characters, setting, problem, and solution, which are story elements in a story, can be shown through the words or the text and also in the illustrations. Let's look at this page from the book The Sneetches by Dr. Seuss. Now the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. Look at that illustration. Does it seem, by the look on the characters' faces, that the star doesn't matter at all? I think the words say that you would think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But when you look at the faces on the one on the left, you can see that he thinks that he's pretty special, while the other Sneetch on the right without the star feels very sad. Let's look just at the illustration to explain what is happening in the story on this page. Take just a minute to think about that and look at the illustration. Did you have a minute to take a look at that illustration? Let's talk about it. I can see again that the Sneetches that have the stars look like they don't want to have anything to do with the Sneetches that have no stars on their bellies. In fact, it looks as if they have walked right past the Sneetches without the stars on their bellies, and it looks like the Sneetches that have no stars on their bellies are feeling very, very, very sad. I told that information only from what I could see in the illustration because I did not read any of the words on that page. Now let's read the words and look at the illustrations. When the star-belly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. So, friends, I think we were right because the words in the story just told us that the children could not play in the game unless they had stars on their bellies. So what we saw from the illustration before was absolutely right. And it looks like the same thing is happening in this illustration too. Now what's going on? Use the illustrations to explain what is happening in the story on this page. I'll give you a minute to take a look. Boy, oh boy, I don't know about you, but as I look at these illustrations on the left, I see the Sneetches with bellies, stars on their bellies, having a great time roasting marshmallows and hot dogs. I think Dr. Seuss actually uses the word frankfurters instead of hot dogs, but they're happy and joyful and having a good time. But look on the right. The Sneetches that have no stars on their bellies, again, look very, very sad, and it looks like they feel lonely and left out. Is that what you thought too, friends? Let's go on and continue to look at the next page. Then one day, it seems, while the plain belly Sneetches were moping and doping along on the beaches, or alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. Oh my, look at the next slide, or the next page. As we see what's going on, we don't have any words to tell us the text, but I'm going to give you a minute to look at what's going on as the Sneetches are coming out of this strange car. Do you notice at the top on the illustration it says out? So it looks like these Sneetches are coming out of that tube on the car. And what is on their belly but a star? And all of a sudden, did you notice too that they seem awfully happy? Let's see what the illustration says and see if what we thought was true when we read the text. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties. And now we can go to your frankfurter parties. So it looks like we were right. They got stars on their bellies from that car. And now instead of being sad, they were happy and felt like they were just the same as the others. Remember, details help to tell more about characters, setting, problem, and solution. Here's an illustration from the end of the book. How do you think the book ends? Take a minute to think about that, friends. And hopefully, when you look at the real book, you will find out what happens. I'm thinking that they're both looking at each other, one with a star, one without a star. They're holding hands and they're looking at each other in a kind way. Maybe they learned a lesson that a star on the belly or a belly without a star really doesn't matter that much after all. Thanks, friends.